Hey there, today I have a really good day and I want to talk about the things I really like about Sweden. So you get a better idea of what it is like to live in Sweden. Thanks so much for following my new adventure here in Sweden. I say new because I only really moved here about 5 months ago, and before that I lived in London, actually the past 10 years. But if you wondered about my accent, I'm originally from Germany. So let's jump right into the pleasant sides of Sweden. The first thing I really like about Sweden are the seasons. Yes, I would say I almost experienced 3 different seasons here in Sweden, or let's say 2.5. And I love to talk about the weather, so let's talk a little bit about the seasons. I guess ever since I lived in Singapore for 1 year, I really appreciate the seasons. In the past, I thought Europe in general is a really good place, pretty much every country has proper seasons, but I thought in Sweden it's even better with each season. So in London, for example, or the UK in general, it has been quite mild winters, and the summers have been quite mild as well compared to other countries. Of course, every now and then there was a week of a heat wave. But yeah, now I live in Sweden and so far I have experienced a wonderful summer, pretty hot at times actually. And then autumn approached and I thought it was really magical here in Sweden. You could really see and observe the leaves changing their colors and falling from the trees. So I really enjoyed autumn here. And now, although we are technically still in autumn season, it feels a little bit more like winter because I feel everything under 10 degrees is just getting really cold and I would consider as being winter. And we definitely had some evenings here around 0 degrees, maybe even -1. And during the day, I think the lowest so far was about 4 degrees. And for me, that's definitely winter. Snow, I think I missed a little bit of snow in Stockholm. I have not seen it. Maybe it was in the morning. I definitely woke up and there was a little bit of kind of snow, ice on the tables, on the grass, on the trees. But I wouldn't say I have seen proper snow yet here in Stockholm. Maybe that's a little bit too early, but it also looks quite promising that maybe snow will come this year in Stockholm. And although it's getting dark quite early, I've never experienced it that early, I think. These days it now gets dark at around 3:30 p.m. So that's not evening, that's the afternoon, and it already gets quite dark. At the moment, it doesn't bother me too much just because I'm really busy during the week, working, I do pick up my daughter in the dark, which definitely has been a little bit of an adjustment. But of course, I haven't experienced the darkness for too long. So at the moment, I just love the seasons here in Sweden. And I'm looking forward to the Christmas season. So another thing I want to talk about is space. I make it very short. I just think maybe I'm a little bit traumatized from living in London or in the UK in general. Apartments or houses are quite small. And then also the streets are quite narrow. And normally when you're in the center of the city, it just feels really packed. And now I'm in Sweden, it feels definitely there's more space. Of course, you can't really compare London with Stockholm or just UK with Sweden because just in general, there's more space and less population here in Sweden. But I like it. That's something I really like about Sweden. So that's why it had to be on my list, that there's just more space. And of course, I have to mention nature here. I think a lot of people love Sweden because there's so much nature here, but also I live closer to a city, and even there, it feels like there's more nature around, especially the water. It's just something I really love and I find very special because I haven't really lived in a city or around an area where there's so much water and so much nature. Well, nature, I have lived in the countryside in Germany, so there's definitely also a lot of nature, a lot of fields and forests. But I feel it looks a bit nicer here. At least I'm enjoying it very much living here in Sweden. And yeah, as I said before, I live in Nacka and it has a lot of nature around here. It's in a residential area. So there are houses, and then there's the water, and then there are forests. So I feel like where I'm living, it's really, really good because it is surrounded by nature, but it's also very close to the hustle and bustle of a city. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to explore Sweden even more next year, you know, getting out and explore the north more and more the south. Like, I really can't wait, so I'm really excited about it. Yeah, and what I really like here in Sweden, you know, I obviously live very close to Stockholm, and the public transport is something I just really like. You know, so far I've made really good experiences with the public transport. It is pretty clean, you know, it comes on time. You can reach various parts of Stockholm with public transport. I mean, we did have one little incident the other day where a teenager just puked all over the bus. That was definitely not that clean, but hey, you know, you can't blame public transport for it. It was just an individual who just couldn't help themselves. And also we took the train for the first time to go a little bit outside of Stockholm, and it was just an hour away, and I also really liked the train. It was very clean and it looked really modern. I can really not complain, and also in general the prices are actually quite reasonable, especially public transport within Stockholm or Nacka is very reasonable, and that's why I really like that here in Sweden. Oh yeah, and another thing I really like is Fika. If you're new to Sweden, you will learn about it very, very quickly. It's something Swedes really enjoy, and that's basically just meeting up with a friend and having coffee together and something sweet, like a bakery sweet thing. I've done it also not only in like cafes. I once did that actually in summer, which was so nice, meeting up with a friend outside actually. And we had coffee and some food. And even now in autumn, when it was about 10 degrees, we met outside and had a little fika. You know, it's such a nice celebration. So it's something I just have to like about Sweden. And then something I really like, and maybe I've mentioned it a little bit in other videos, but it's just the lights, you know, you have around houses, around apartments. So pretty much outside and inside of homes. I feel like this looks so cozy, and I feel Swedish people just know how to create a very cozy, beautiful home, and it's something I really appreciate. I mean, I feel a bit like a stalker sometimes just walking around and looking into windows, but you know, I'm not that creepy. I just walk by and be super happy about what I see because it looks so beautiful. So yeah, we have mid-November now, and I noticed that also people are putting up slowly some Christmas decorations, which I personally really love. So there's some more stalking going on from my side, looking at what decorations they come up with. I can't actually wait also to do our house. I haven't bought any decorations yet, so I still need to do that. And once I have done that, especially the Christmas tree, I will definitely show you in one of my videos. So yeah, and another thing I'm really happy about it and I really like about Sweden are the kindergartens. You know, I'm the happiest when my daughter is happy, and since she started kindergarten, she really, really enjoys herself. I really couldn't ask for more at the moment. You know, the people who work at the kindergarten are super friendly. I can see that my daughter really enjoys being around them and she trusts them. And you know, there are different teachers as well with different skills. There is someone from Peru who lived here since she was very young, and her Swedish is actually better than her English, and she teaches the kids dancing. And my daughter, my 3-year-old daughter, is very into dancing at the moment. And not to forget all the crafts they're doing. She's coming home with little things she made at kindergarten. You know, I just really appreciate that the kindergarten is so wonderful here. Maybe it doesn't apply to every kindergarten, and I don't know, but this kindergarten we are going to is really great. And of course, I mentioned it before, the costs are so minimal. It blows up the positive experience even more. And then just in general, one thing I actually quite like here is the focus on children in this country. Of course, there are different people with different backgrounds who want to move to Sweden, But I mean, one of the reasons I wanted to move here to Sweden is because, you know, you have the feeling that the people really care about their children. And although I have mentioned this crazy letter, you know, and it seemed like I complained about it, well, I was more surprised about it. So watch the video if you want to know what it was about. I actually do really appreciate that also the state is taking care of the children, making sure that, you know, they're growing up with the best opportunities you can give them. So yeah, I just really wanted to appreciate that children play such a big role in this country and taken care of so greatly. That is definitely something I like about Sweden. So I also wanted to talk about the friendliness of this country. And of course, I'm talking about things I like here, and maybe not everyone will agree with me, but I do find the people who live here, the Swedish people, quite friendly. Maybe it also depends where you're coming from and what you're used to. So my background is basically various countries I have lived in. I have the comparison to Germany, to the UK, and also Singapore, because these 3 countries, and Austria, these 4 countries I actually lived in. And I wouldn't say my expectations are super high, you know, I don't expect actually people to be super friendly, especially to strangers. But I feel really good here in Sweden. There is a really good level of friendliness. I made some small good experiences, you know, for example, on the bus where people helped me without even asking them for help. The other day I wanted to order something for lunch and I wasn't sure if the salmon was raw or cooked. So I didn't ask anyone, but someone stepped in and explained it to me. So it's actually a little bit of a surprise that people are willing to step in and help me if they see someone like me needing some help. And then also in general, I find people quite friendly in supermarkets or in libraries. And also currently I go to appointments for, you know, my pregnancy. And the midwives are super friendly. I had 2 so far. I changed once basically because the one I had before said she had too many, so I had to change. Not that that was my decision, but both were really friendly. And the one I have now, I feel very, you know, comfortable and just satisfied with how people treat me here. So of course I only live here about 5 months, but this is my experience so far. And even when I know and hear other things from other people, that is my experience, and that's why I'm including this in this video. That is something I really like. I have only experienced really friendliness. Of course, there's sometimes exceptions, but actually nothing pops into my mind right now. So the friendliness outweighs everything else. And last but not least, I like the digitalization here in Sweden. I know it looked like I was complaining about certain things here about Sweden, especially in terms of bureaucracy, but the truth of it is I just present you with everything I'm confronted, you know, and I keep it very real. But in general, I really like how advanced Sweden is digitally. So once you actually sort out a lot of things, life can be quite pleasant and easy. So yeah, there are things like I don't really need a bank card. I can just pay like that. I can, you know, pay public transport just with my phone. I can just like wire money to my friends if I need to, you know, if we go out together and want to share the bill. There are apps actually out there where you can receive invoices and you can pay them through the apps, or you can actually follow your healthcare journey. At the moment, for example, as I mentioned, I'm going to midwife appointments, and there is a documentation about every appointment and the notes the midwife makes. I can actually look into it. Yes, I have to translate them into English, but you know, they're quite accessible and I just see what they noted down for my reference. And all these little bits and bobs actually I feel are quite helpful and are quite advanced, and I enjoy here in Sweden. So yeah, I think I'm getting slowly the hang of things and I enjoy it more and more. And provided you are into technology and digitalization, then I think Sweden could also be quite pleasant for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching till the end, and I hope I will see you in my next video. Until then, have a great day and stay safe. Hej då!